to Oakley Hour. Today we are continuing with our Moomin build, issue number 69. What we have here is we're going to be building our attic window, is it called? Let's see, attic window, that's exactly what it's called. And we told you again a little bit about the story, and we are also putting together, I think, the rest of the bed, and this is for the guest bedroom, and it's kind of like a pinky plum colour, quite a heavy thing. So let me see, I've left something in the middle here, and again you have your story here, and this time it is all about Christmas, which will be interesting. So again, we are going to be doing some dyeing, but this looks like the dyeing is pretty much after you put it together, but before you put the last piece on. I might just dye it beforehand. It seems like it would be quite a bit of hassle to do after the event, so I'm going to probably do that first, and then we are going to put the bed pieces together. You will need the quilt that was from issue 65, and also the pillow that I made from 65, which isn't as squishy as you'll probably get it now. I did this a little while ago. And you will need these to put onto the bed as shown. Alright, let me show you the other pieces that we get. So we get, let's close that little thing. We get this, we get all the parts for the dormer window. Be very careful not to lose your little piece of glass, which does have plastic each side, will need to be removed. So this one, although it, like I say, it does need dyeing, so I'm going to get on with that, and I will be right back once I'm all organised. Okay, so I've got everything ready to do this. I can't remember the pieces that I need to dye and which ones I don't, so I'm just going to carefully she says, dye all of the ones to do with the house, nothing to do with the bed itself. So we should hopefully be doing this right. Probably don't need those done. I probably should be using a smaller applicator, but I kind of started now. I mean, I know you're meant to dye it, I just can't remember what areas. I mean, I'm sure when I see it, it'll be like, wow, that was a bit wasted then. So I'm just trying to be careful because I know the edges of this are blue, and I don't want to get any of the dye on the blue. I mean, like, I doubt that this will be seen because it's the outside of the dormer window there. And then I'm just going to pat that dry, pick it up and put it to one side, and that looks okay. I'm happy with that. And the same with the two roof panels. Again, don't think they need doing, but I am going to. And then I'm going to get the rest done, and I will come back in a moment. You can see I've kind of missed the edges on this one, and that's okay because I don't think much of it's going to do, and it will spread a little bit when I dry it like it just did. Okay, put that to one side to dry, and I will be back in a bit. Right, now that's all done. Puppy's been walked, so we should have some quietness. Should go to sleep, you never know. And I apologise, but she's a puppy, something I have no control over whatsoever. Anyway, we are on issue 69. We are going to be doing the dormer window, and if you recall, I just did the I actually dyed it. You can paint it, and it does say to dye it after the stage that I'm about to do, but I don't trust myself really. So these are all the pieces that we are going to need. So we have the main piece here, we have the side panels, I'm thinking those are, we have, or actually these are going to be the side panels, and we also have these, which are going to be the roof, and that's probably the front of the roof, and what do they call this? The sill, window sill. Alright, so that's everything. All we're going to need today is wood glue, and I believe, are we making the mattress today as well? It's possible we are. We certainly got the mattress, so we are. We're going to make the mattress with the base and the fabric for that. So let me also get that together. For some reason I did not think that was today. And that's going to consist of 3 pieces to go in the frame, and I'm actually going to use double-sided tape for that. So I've got some double-sided tape here that I've purchased. It does come with a little but not enough for me. So this is going to be the base of the bed, which is going to go inside here and get stuck down, and this will be the mattress. It's a hard squidgy, and we are going to be putting on the sheet to cover it, which is fine. Easiest way that I've found to do it is on doing double-sided tape, but other people probably do it other ways, but that's the one that I found works. All right, so first things first, we have to identify the pieces. This is the dormer left side and this is the dormer right side, and we're going to take the left side and we are going to glue it in to the little hole here. So see the little hole down the bottom there. We're going to glue this into it from the back, so it will be like that. Couldn't get my bearings on what I was trying to do then. So yeah, it's going to look like that. So I'm going to get that glued, and need to clean my glue head there and a little bit here. Alright, so like I say, through the hole at the bottom here and resting on the top, like on here I believe. Oh no, I lied, it's not through the hole whatsoever, it's just leaning up against it. So it's going to be like this. So I'm going to get one of my squares to put that on to make sure that it is square. And hopefully, I don't know that there's going to be enough. Actually, there's not going to be enough to put in there, so I'm not going to get the square for that. I'm just going to leave it for a few seconds. And then what we're going to do is put the other side on. So I'm going to do that. Nice thing about wood glue, it has some manoeuvrability after the event. So being that we know now it's going to be here, I'm going to just glue on this side. And I don't know why I did the sides actually, just need the ends basically to go like that. And then we're going to put that in there and hope it's reasonably straight, but we're about to straighten it up anyway, because now we've got it like that, this little piece here, which I have dyed both sides, is going to sit in here like this, just where these ends are, and this will be used for the roof, so they're just going to go in there, so it's going to square it up for us as well. So I'm just going to put some glue in this little end here and the end of this one too, and we will get that in there. Oh, if I can. And this will square it up, so if it was a little bit off, I don't think it was that much, although it's all come out now of course because it wasn't set. And normally I would let it set, to be honest with you, but because of doing the video I have not. Alright, so I'm going to clamp this for a moment, and I'm just going to use these sorts of clamps which aren't particularly expensive. It came as a set with these and the others, I think. The other ones that I was using yesterday, they're not the best quality, but they are reasonable. So I'm just going to clamp it here, and I'm also going to pop a clamp on the top there. Did I bring more than one? I did not, so bear with me, I will go and get one. Okay, I got a second one, and all I'm going to do is clamp it across here just to make sure that it is holding together well. So I can make this a bit smaller. That's a little bit big right now. You can just push it by pressing this button here, and you can push and pull it, but yeah, I didn't. And that should stay in place. So I'm going to leave that for a second, and I'm going to start, while this is drying and doing its thing, I am actually going to start on the bed frame or the bed mattress, because then it gives it a little bit of an extra seal. I also have the window to make as well. Shall I make the window now? You don't put the glass on straight away. Let's see. It wants the it wants you to use tape for the window. I'm probably not going to do that now. I seem to do the opposite of everything they tell me, really. Maybe if I did it half the way that they suggest that I do, I wouldn't have so many problems. But here I am. So we'll make the window while we're waiting, and then we'll go back to doing this little piece here. And then we'll do the mattress afterwards. So they say facing this way, it's got 2 pins in. You've got a larger pin and a little pin. Put the bigger pin in first, and in here, you can see a hole here, and also at the bottom. Ooh, let's see if I can get the right angle better. There it is. So you can get a little hole there. So I'm just going to put having it facing that the window is the window holes are on the left hand side, so the way I had it. And you put the bigger pin in that hole first, and then I guess you're going to bow it a little bit to make it fit into the bottom one along here. So it's just like push to fit. Oh, it's tight, it's tight. I can do it. Okay. And it is in, so that's it here. Okay. And now what we're going to do, and they want you to do with this double-sided tape, whatever you do, don't use super glue for this, because it will make your window very misty. So first things first, I'm going to take off if there's any sticky on here, which I believe there is. There's some covering, certainly on one side. I don't know if it's on both. Yeah, there's one on this side too. And they actually say they don't tell you to take it off before you insert it, in which case then that doesn't seem to be very sensible to me. I understand leaving one on maybe to stop fingerprints, but it doesn't seem that doesn't have many principles for me anyway. So we want it with the hinge on the left hand side to put our window, and the bobbles facing you. So just like this, let me get rid of those. And then you are going to pop this inside here. And what I'm going to use is, because I don't want it to show, is I'm going to use a tiny bit of B7000, which I don't have to hand, but it's more precise, so bear with me. You know, before I start a video, I think I have every single thing to hand that I'm ever going to need, you know. But here I am, still looking for stuff. Oh, if I can open it. This one's getting low. I have got more of this. And all I'm going to do is make sure that it's just on the inside. There's a tiny ridge. Let me zoom you in a little bit, and you can see. It'll probably be a lot easier. So around the window here, there's a tiny ridge on the inside here, and that's where your window is going to go. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue just in that ridge, and I'm going to do it pretty much on the 4 points here. So one there, one here, one there. It does get a bit stringy, this glue, and one in here. So just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to put my window in, and guess what? Let that dry while I go back to doing the making the window itself, the dormer. And last thing we're going to do is pop this in, so, and then put this into the hole there. Like I say, just make sure that it's on this side so that it opens that way. And this will actually be basically it will be on the inside, I think, so it opens like this. and then it looks nice and clear. So once this glue dries, the nice thing about this glue is it will dry clear. I mean, it is clear anyway, but it will dry clear. If you use super glue, sadly, it does make the plastic kind of mist up a bit. So you're kind of getting a foggy. If you want steamy windows, hey, that's the way to get them, I guess. All right, so I'm going to put this to one side over here for it to dry, have a little bit of sun coming through. And I'm going to go back to this one, and I should be pretty happy with how this takes, especially when I can get these off, but they don't want to because I'm holding the handle at the same time, which doesn't really help. I'm going to put those up there, and now we're going to put the roof on here. And let me find out where this strip goes at the same time. Let me go back on my book here because I kind of went ahead. I mean, all you're trying to do is make sure that it's reasonably dry. So at this stage, once you've got this little line panel in, the windowsill, which is going to go in next, this is where you're meant to paint the inside. I just, like I say, I did it first, and if I did get any on the polished ends, like the blue and things like that, oh, I forgot a piece on here, but then just take it off with a bit of water, comes off as long as it's wet. What I'm going to do with this one, because I can see that I've left some on here, is I will go over it with a white marker and hopefully that will cover it. And I'll do that after I've, actually it's going to be on the inside, it probably, will it be on the inside? No. Will it? Just trying to look at how this is going to be. Is it going to be at the back? That's the question. How's this going? Oh no, it's great. It's going to be right at the front where you can see it. So I will get that sorted in a moment. All right, so now this is done, you would go around painting everything and get that clear, and then you put your roof on, and it looks like this one will go on first, and you want basically the straight edge. So you've got a straight edge here, and the other edge, the one with the slant, going towards the back to go against the house. And you want it, oh look, I might be saved. No, I'm not going to be saved whatsoever. You want it on this side so that the taller part of the slope is at the top. So it's like that. I thought I was going to be saved for a second. I got all excited, but no, the error of my ways is there to haunt me and let me know so I can make the mistakes you don't. And there's plenty. You ever looked at any of my videos, it's like a thing. And I don't think it's because I rush particularly. Maybe it's just the way, you know, the old brain cell works or something. I'd like to say too much drugs and things, but I don't do such things. So I know it's not down to that. Maybe a bit of just old age creeping in, that some instructions just don't make any sense to me. And last bit of glue we're going to need is actually on. So this is going to be towards the top. This is going to the bottom. And the last bit of glue we're going to need is joining these two. Oh, I've got them upside down anyway. So it'd be like this, basically going on. So I need to put some glue on here. And like I said, then I'm going to worry about patching that up with a marker in a moment. And gosh, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I'm holding it all wrong. Dear, dear. Okay, we should put this one in first. Okay, and I'm going to just push down on there, which goes quite easily doing it that way rather than what I was trying to do, which was really struggling. Having it flat on here makes it a lot easier. There we go, nice click sound. And you can see that's what the back looks like. doesn't look right, does it? What have I done wrong? What do we think? Is this towards the back? It looks like it's right according to the picture. It's just that I don't expect that I would see this over, and I do. But there's no other way that it can go. Right, let me go grab my markers. So I need a white marker, and the other thing I'm going to do is put a bit of blue on here, because both the front ones have the blue but not this one, so I'm going to pop a little bit of blue on there as well, if I can get a colour close enough. I'm going to see if I can make that a little bit, give it a bit of a squeeze to line it up. Okay, so I might have to go and get another marker from my little cubby holes, but in the meantime, let's see what we can have. So I just use the Shutter Art acrylic markers. So there's my white, so I'll give that a go in a sec. And let's see if I can get a reasonable match to the old turquoise. Nowhere near. It's not going to be perfect, but it probably doesn't have to be either. That's going to be too light. Maybe this one. That's pretty close, but I do see that I have not pushed this down very well. So let me get that better, considering I applied clamps and things. I guess I just applied them from that side. Right, so let's try this little blue thing. So you've got brush or fine on this one. I'm just going to use the brush side. I find that applies everything a little bit better. And I'm just going to try and be careful on getting it on the in. You know, as much as it's got blue, but if you've got one with blue, it makes sense that both would have blue. But really, they should probably all have brown, because that'd make even more sense, but okay. Maybe I'll change my mind on that. What do you think? Probably better with brown, wouldn't it, really? But then I'd also have to put a line, and then we're going to a skill set I probably don't think. So let's see if we can cover this up. This one may be running out. So I see this is also not in properly. That's what I get for rushing, huh? Well, now it's not in at all. That's better. And I'm also going to put a bit of blue on the front here. So here, like just a little bit, because it isn't matching. It's not a perfect match to what colours they have, but it doesn't stick out, I don't think, quite as much as the brown does. Of course, it's going to have the window in here as well, but until then, you can see this probably better than I am, so you can see if I'm making a right mess. Oh, that's not terrible. Alright, let's try this white, see if I can cover up my staining. And I may or may not be able to. We will see. I might have to go and find another one. Alright, so it's going to work. I'm just going to have to do it more than once. So I'm going to let this soak in, and then I'm going to do another one. You can see it slowly disappearing. So I'm going to let that dry and set. I'm going to put the window in next, and then I'll sort this bed out, which shouldn't take that long. Let's see how they want the window put in. And the window is just basically glued, and they want wood glue. So you're going to use it on the outside of the window. Grab this back from where... I'm surprised they want wood glue, actually, being it's plastic. But they want it to go in here, where that other little latch is going. And I guess I will apply wood glue here. You would have thought they would want some other type of glue, wouldn't you, rather than wood glue? Because the only wood part is this piece, whereas the My dog's making noises, having a good dream. Whereas the window itself is actually plastic. Right, I'm going to just push that down. I'm going to let all that dry, and then I'm going to give another coat or two of the thing, and you can see that works. Oh, it works really well, she says as she pushes it out. It does work well, just don't push it out. Alright, okay, let me pause, put this to one side. Alrighty, okay, so next we are going to do the sheet. And what we need to do is basically wrap this mattress over. So let me show you. And I'm going to do this by using sticky tape. What do they recommend? Let me see. They get you to do all the folding before basically. So, and then they stick it together with super glue. So I'm just going to use some tape, and this is breakable for me, and I'm just going to do both the ends, and then I will do the sides afterwards. It's going to have plenty of fabric. So they want the edges of the fabric also done. So I'm actually going to do those first, and that's to save it fraying. So this one's not quite long enough, but it will do the same principle. In fact, if I take this end off, then I can put that over there, and that solves the problem. I have glue all over my hands, I just realised. Oh, also marker. Okay, so because they want the ends all tidy, easiest way that I found is run a strip along here, and you're not really going to see them because it's all going on the bed anyway, but that's what they want. And it'd be easier to do this before you put it on the mattress. And this size, I can't remember the size of it. Let me see if I can read it. I can see a lot of Chinese writing on the inside. I don't know, I'd have to look it up, but you can see, let me see what I've got to hand. I don't have a ruler. Well, I have a set square, so maybe I can draw on that. Let's see. Well, this was used for a set square. It's very heavy. And this tape is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, half a mil. So half a centimetre, actually, not half a mil, half a centimetre, 5 millimetres, and it kind of seems that it's the right size for the fabric. So I'm just going to peel this off, make sure it's on, and I find if you just go over it a couple of times that is about it, and then peel it off. I do have hooks, worst comes to worst, and I can't get it off, you can use hooks. And let's see, this one is playing silly things with me. Okay, and also, be right back. I saw a piece of blue marker on my hand. The last thing I want to do is try and get some blue on the white sheet. So all you then do is bend it over, and it should stay, and it'd be about roughly the right size. I mean, you're going to have lots left over anyway on this, and to be honest with you, this fabric is pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're really not going to be seeing it, because it's going to be covered up with a bed spread for starters, so it doesn't have to be, like I say, perfect. But half a centimetre, 5 mil seems about the right size for when you're folding over. Most of the models that I've done, it's about the right sort of size. And then I'm going to fold the mattress over, or fold it onto the mattress, and get it off me. And basically what you're doing on this particular one, the way they want you to do it, is like you're wrapping a gift. So if if you wrap gifts like me, some of mine are a challenge, but I like mine that no one can get into them. So it's very similar to that. That one's not stuck. So again, just go over with a nail or something sharp that's not going to mark it. And I can see a nice hair there, so a little bit of DNA going down. And I'm going to take these off. These aren't actually going to be in the best spots now that I put them on here, but let's see if I can get this little one off. Yeah, that's no problem. And then this one as well. Okay, and that also has some DNA. Anyone gets my Moomin house later, you know, I nicely have my DNA for whatever, because, you know, that's how important, sorry, I am. You know, I'm crazy. I'm ahead of myself. You probably spotted this before I did. Let's fold those over then. Before you put them on the mattress. Sounds a much better idea. So now you've got to search for the DNA instead. Which way do we want to go? Maybe that way. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay. And this one. And then we are going to wrap it like a parcel. And you can stick. You really, really can. I know I've played with you and messed you up now. So what I'm going to do is put some over here. I reckon roughly there, give or take, probably too much. You can really tear this off quite easily, and you just kind of want it in the middle there somewhere, towards the end of what you're going to do. And all I'm going to do is wrap it as if I'm doing a parcel, so you can see, just put it in as a corner to itself, and same with that side. So you got two corners, and then fold it up and hope your tape's in the right place, which, you know what, it's not. So I'm going to see if I can get all of it up, which I couldn't. Oh man, well, that was a fail, wasn't it, really? So because you're going to be sticking this onto the base of the bed, it really probably doesn't matter, but I'm going to put another one closer. But now I know for the other side to do a closer one. Get that off and have it there. And then we are going to do exactly the same to the other side. So let me get a bit of tape right on the end this time. Let's wise it up to this. And then this is going to end up being stuck on the bed. And again, both corners, and get the tape off would be helpful if I'd done that beforehand. And fold it up so it looks like you've done a parcel. And then for this, I am going to use super glue, because it's wood on metal, and you are just going to put this in, and it does actually say to use super glue. So I'm just going to put a little bit in each corner. And like I say, this glue, the power gel, works well because you can tell it where to go, basically. Put a little bit on the edges, probably don't need it. And pop the wooden board in like this. I don't know if you saw any of that. I thought I'd been getting a little bit better with the angles of my camera, but now I'm not so sure. And then we can put this on top, which it doesn't say to glue it down, but I know little hands, kids, are gonna kind of touch this from my end, so I'm gonna just put a little bit of super glue on it because I don't want it being lifted up. Otherwise, you know what, it'll get lost, and it doesn't look too bad. What do you think? Just going to hold that down a second, and then get the mattress and the pillow, and these I will put some tape down here and hope that it's the right size. So I'm going to put it just along here. Let's see. and hope that the bedding that I made for the guest room, because this is the guest room I believe, is all the right size. So put that there and take off the covering like so, so you can see that, and then do the other side. That again on here, hopefully straight. Well, that's not straight at all, is it? There we go. And put that here like so, and tear that off. And that means that we should be able to put our pillow on. It's up to you how you do this. I'm probably going to use, I've got it out anyway, the B7000, and the only reason that I really need to do this, oh, they actually think to put the pillow on afterwards. Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense-ish. Just because my pillows go on before my cover has nothing to do with anything, right? And try and make sure it's even before you stick it down. If you have a little lump in the middle, that's not a big deal. Maybe it's that they're not so good at it, but it did fit perfectly. So I wonder. I might be able to pull it a little bit this way, but it's pretty even all the way around. There we go. And then I'm going to use some B7000 to attach the pillow. And again, this is purely for the fact that I know that there are going to be children which will be touching it, and I don't want to lose everything. And I have actually said to my grandchildren, because I wouldn't let them play with the Disney Doll's House, and you can imagine how, you know, how unfair that probably seems to a child. I did say that they would be allowed to play with this, but and it's fine. I will allow them to play with it. However, they'll be able to play with the bits and little pieces and things like that. So things like this will be stuck, but they'll be able to put like the little creatures and things like that on top of it anyway, just not inside. So they will be able to have some play time with it, just a little bit more restricted than they were probably hoping. What do you think? A little bit up, a bit more, maybe up a bit more, something like that. These pillows are like kind of a bit flat, aren't they, really? And I'm going to leave that there, and then bring back our house here, right here. And you can see that the window opens very nicely, and yeah, so that's that. So I've been using the white marker, and most of this is gone. I'm going to give it another coat in when it dries, but this is this issue complete. So let's have a quick look at what's happening next time, which is going to be issue 70. So here, let me zoom out 1 second. This is a bit longer video than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be quite quick to do this. And this one, probably about the same, will include the floor, which I will get dyed. But you're not going to do anything with this because you're going to need the other part for it anyway. And then we're going to make a little chair, and it looks like we're going to be colouring it teal. Not my favourite colour. I won't be using paints that they suggest. I will be using markers. I find those a lot better, as far as I seem to get, you know, a lot of lines when I do it. Anyway, that is this one done. So next will be number 70, and I look forward to any comments that you have, or you can send me an email or leave a comment, and I will get back to them as soon as possible. My email address is opallyhour@outlook.com. And like I say, we'll try and get back as soon as possible. Please check like and subscribe so that you can be updated on new content. And please, overall, just take care of yourselves. I will look forward to speaking with you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.